This is all from the buses, the familiar sounds of buses. There's a few who say that you are just a crazy fella like that. Press the cheapest fare over here. Press the cheapest fare and get your ticket here. So your fare card will come in here. My name is Muhammad Zakaria, known as Zack. Okay, my age is in 29 and I'm working in SMRT. My hobby is related to bus, is a bus enthusiast. We either take photos of bus, we have knowledge of bus. We do a bit of heritage research along the way, because sometimes when we take bus rides, we do come across some interesting places in Singapore. Other than that, if we come across some antique collectibles also, we do, it's like what I'm doing there in my room. Anything that is related to bus, we are definitely enthusiastic about it. Around K1, K2, my mom used to buy some just toys, bus toys. So I was quite curious to know that what are these bus models? Why is it different from one another? Then what is SBS? What are the routes? Why there's numbers? So initially, from this kind of curiosity, it increases my knowledge and also being part of the bus enthusiasts. So slowly in primary school days is where part of my collectibles started. Collecting fare card and bus guides. Mainly it's all those paper-related stuff or something that is easily obtainable in interchange or during your bus rides. And back then I only travel via buses only. I rarely travel by trains. Secondary school days is where I was introduced to scrapyards. So my uncle's a mechanic in SBS, so he did brought me back some of the few scrap parts. So I said, okay, you can start. I call it, you try out this thing. How I also don't know how it functions. So initially it's just scrap stuff. Okay, the very first part that I got was actually just a small bell button. So it was just this button initially. So back then I didn't know how it functions. That part onwards, I learned to take up electronics on my own. So that's how I pick up to a more extensive range of collections, like all my bells, my electronic signs, and many other bus paraphernalia along the way. So then slowly I was being introduced to scrapyard. So then that's where I start to take the real parts from the buses. There were many mixed reactions when they know that I'm a bus enthusiast. So most of the time they just there's a few who say that you're just a crazy fella like that. Why would you do this? Why would you collect past things? Why would you do things? Other people all they go into cars. So for me, I just keep quiet. For me, I just do my own part as an enthusiast. So I don't really have to listen what others have to say and just go for my own path. I can't blame them for these people who reacted in this way, because it's a new hobby. It's a new thing that people are not exposed to. So they will tend to say it's very outrageous, it's very crazy hobby, but it's just something new for them. So I must thank my family. When I was collecting all this stuff, initially they were quite skeptical, but over time they understood what I'm doing and my rationale of doing to collect all these bus things. For my dad, he himself is a musician, so he said, whatever you do, just pursue on, just go on, whatever, follow your heart and just go as per what your heart says and just follow through. Yeah. If without their support, I wouldn't continue on to the hobby. For some parents, they would simply stop, say, why is all this nonsense? But for my parents, I'm appreciative with them. They provided the support and they say continue on. So long that you keep your room presentable, neat and tidy, just go on. One of them is of course my work, my job. So as an enthusiast, people will expect higher of you in the transport industry. So definitely it's an asset if anybody were to have myself in any of the transport industry. So secondly is also media coverage. Then thirdly is also, let's say if there's any exhibitions or if there's any history related help that people do need. So most of them, they approach us as bus enthusiasts. Of course, at the same time, got more reaction lah. Like people say, cool, there's such spot in Singapore in a HDB flat that someone keeps this stuff. Yeah. In that way, it's also good that people do understand what the hobby truly is, and the misconception is slowly erased over time. That's what I am very glad about. Hobby is all the same lah, be it cars, bus enthusiasts, stamp collection, soccer or even music. There will surely be misconception of all these hobbies. To me, if all these people start to have all these misconception, find themselves a hobby to learn in and understand what is it all about. Once when they understand what the hobby is all about, they will know and appreciate more in life. There's something valuable in life that you ought to learn, ought to have in this short lifespan. So once you have a hobby, you have a passion to learn in, it will make full use of your time throughout your life instead of just simply go to work, come back, go to work, come back. That's the way lah.